Hello everyone, and welcome to the Gravity Max live stream. Today, we are going to be talking about memes. Let me go back to the first slide though. Okay, so
yes, today we have our guest, Jacob.
Yep.
Everyone.
Jacob is an expert in memes.
Yep. We said we'd bring in an expert each time. This is our expert.
Yes, this is our expert. And we are here today to discuss the science behind memes, the anthropology, the sociology, and the history of how these came to be one of the most prevalent themes of the 2010 to 2020 decade.
Yeah, definitely. Memes are great. They're fun, funny, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of science behind them, and I find it pretty interesting. And they relate to other subjects that you wouldn't think of, and yeah, it's pretty fun. We've got a fun stream up ahead. So, first of all, this video is not intended for children under 13 years old. If you are under 13 years old, please do not watch this video, as the topics we discuss are meant for those with at least a high school level of education. If you are not 13, you will not understand the scientific topics discussed in this video. Okay? So
that in and of itself has become a meme.
That is a meme. While this video,
just a disclaimer.
Yeah, while this video is about memes, which is something that the youths like, right? It is not just a meme compilation. It is about science, and we are going to be analyzing memes and discussing their causes, just the underlying principles behind them. So if you are not 13 years old, do not watch this video. And if you are a government commission, do not fine us $42,000. Those are the two takeaway messages of this disclaimer. 13, don't watch this video. Like, if you're under 13, don't watch this video. And if you are a government commission, do not sue us. Okay, so
there we go.
Follow us on social media or visit the Gravity Max website, because I don't know, there's not much there really, but I feel like
it's a good site. It tells you everything you need to know.
Actually, the site's pretty good. The site's pretty good because it has a link to my book, but I don't know. The social media isn't really that active. It's weird. I tried to.
But listen, people that follow your Facebook, your Instagram, or your Twitter, they now have the privilege of following a published author.
That is true. Here's the thing though. About a month ago, or 2 months ago or something, I was trying to do one of the daily posts on Instagram for the channel. Like, that's what I was doing for a few weeks. And then it just wouldn't upload. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm like, I don't even like these apps anyways. Like, I really don't use social media. These are my only accounts, like, on these social media, is for my YouTube channel. So I'm just like, you know what? If it isn't even gonna work, I don't know. I might try to do a bit more on there. So, yeah, I guess you can follow. But definitely follow Sebastian, because he's got a wonderful Renaissance modern
I'm actually going to re-upload that picture. It's the same picture, just in, like, HD.
Ooh, nice.
I found a better resolution for that image. So I'm just going to Indiana Jones switch it out.
I don't know. I do like the... what do you call it? Like the grainy 2008 feel. Like, you know,
I hadn't thought about that aspect.
Yeah, how cameras even just 10 years ago were pretty, like, not that good. But yeah. Also, in the description, go to Jacob's channel, Daikaiju Productions, because he makes really cool videos of, like, stop motion animations of, like, Godzilla and other characters from that universe, so I think it's really cool. Yeah. And then my book. It is available on Amazon, and the link is on my website. And I'm gonna put it in the description after the stream, but it's on my website, so you can go there if you want. And yeah, it's a sci-fi book, and it takes place on the moon in 2102, and it follows a high school freshman, and he and his brother need to get off the moon because there's some political instability, and it's just a really fun book. I worked hard on it, so yeah, definitely buy it and read it.
Yeah, it's a great book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little less than halfway into it right now.
Nice. What do you think? What do you like about it?
It definitely had some twists and turns that I was not expecting. I don't want to spoil too much because I know our loyal gravitons are gonna get the book and they're gonna read it. But definitely, the book goes in a very interesting direction.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's what I gotta say.
Nice. All right.
Jacob, do you have a Truly Dead Rock?
I have not gotten it yet. I plan on getting it as soon as I can, though. But
okay, cool.
I've been slapped with tariffs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, definitely just, get the book if you are interested in sci-fi. So, memes. It is time to analyze them, to review them, but that is what we're talking about today. Memes.
Let me tell you, memes have become ingrained in our very DNA. Every time you see something that's a little strange, a little off-putting, or even something that is completely of the ordinary, our brains go to make it a meme.
Yeah.
You see, Jacob, Max, and I, we've all created memes.
Mm-hmm.
We've all made dank, drippy, deceitful memes. I couldn't think of another adjective that started with D, but it's a new form of humor,
Yeah.
And as humor evolves, memes also evolve, and that's what we're going to look at today.
Yeah.
We're going to do a little rundown of all the decades and all of the different years of the decades, all their top memes, their peak concurrences, and it might even reveal a little bit about our culture and how this generation has been shaped by these memes.
Yeah, definitely. Memes, it's really interesting. I saw a CGP Grey video where he described it as like a virus where it would mutate and change as it spread through the population. And I thought that's interesting because as we talk about later, the spreading of memes follows a normal distribution curve, and so do a lot of diseases, which is interesting. But that's not super remarkable. I think pretty much you could point to anything, and there's a 50% chance that it spreads according to a normal distribution curve. But it's one of those things in math. There's pi, there's the normal distribution curve, and there's like the Fibonacci sequence. Those three things, they just, everywhere you look, it's just there, and you're like, gosh, why is this there? And it is.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting that you actually mentioned the Fibonacci sequence because it actually relates to my side project that I'm working on.
Ooh, nice. This is the book we were talking about before stream?
Yeah.
Cool,
this is the my little side project that is still definitely in alpha, even before alpha.
Alpha,
but
just A.
Just A.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely excited to read that once you're ready, and we will definitely promote it on our channel. We'll have that be our book slide after a while. So once you're ready to publicly talk about it, like in more detail.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get right on into
it. Yes.
Yes.
The quantum mechanic prisms, or the pyramids, rather.
Yeah, the quantum mechanic pyramid prisms, whatever they are. Look at them; they are gorgeous. They
Jacob,
are wonderful.
What emotion do you get from this image?
Fear.
Definitely, I think that's.
What is it feeling? Would you enter the wrong classroom? You have math, but you think you have history. You enter the history classroom, and everyone turns to look at you.
Yes,
that's what I'm seeing right here.
That is the feeling. It's when you walk in on something like a meeting that you weren't supposed to be there for. It's like when everyone was talking about you, and then you enter a room. That's what this picture makes me think of. But yes, the quantum mechanic, he has been trapped in this pyramidal form, and you see the guard in the background, the watchman, is keeping him here in this odd void between realities. That's what's occurring in this slide. Yeah, so next. When someone needs
it's important to point out that Max made that image.
Oh yeah, I made this picture. So, okay, next. When someone needs something explained in under 128 seconds. When someone needs something explained in over 128 seconds. When somebody steals your hats. When you have 2 hats.
So these are a couple of memes that I cooked up with the help of Max, obviously relating to the stream.
Yep.
And if you haven't watched my Heisenberg uncertainty principle explained in under 128 seconds, I definitely recommend you check that out. It's both on this channel and my own personal channel, which is just my name.
Okay, I'll link that.
It's great for.
I'll link that after the stream. I'll start linking that.
Great. Yeah, great for people in a rush, and it's just a very good summary of the topic, and I'm actually coming out with another one of those this Wednesday, which is going to be about polarity.
Nice.
How that works.
Yeah, and then for something over 128 seconds...
Yes, something over 128 seconds, you should refer to Max's videos.
Yeah, you can check out the Stardate video that I made on Wednesday. That's the first video I've made in a while, with actual editing. The last time I did was when I made kind of the 512 subscriber special, but that wasn't really too much editing, but really the Dyson Spheres video, which was 4 months ago. So, yeah, definitely excited to get back into the swing of things and make a video every other week along with these live streams. So, yeah, just, keep stay tuned. Yeah, that's the word. I was just trying to think of the right pay attention metaphor, and I just could not think of one. I was like mixing them up, like keep posted or whatever. I was just like, oh shoot, what am I saying here? Yeah. So I think that's one. Like I'll keep you posted. That's what it is. But you have to stay tuned. So it's...
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. Metaphors. Such an idiomatic language. Oh yeah, and then the next slide. Why is millennial humor so weird? Comedy that appeals to young people can be surreal and dark and completely meaningless, by Elizabeth Broinig. My meatballs are too spice-y. I need to sip some cold syrup. So... this is kind of indicative.
This was made by Vincent van Gogh.
Yeah, I think this is indicative of the sort of the situation with memes. These are probably the most extreme of the extreme. As they said, it's surreal and completely meaningless, right? So it's interesting. It's hard to grasp memes, but we're gonna go through the history, so maybe that'll give us a better understanding. Yeah,
we're going to explain them. We're gonna dissect them, and we're gonna show you some of our own creations.
Yeah. What do you think, though, when you look at that picture?
What do I think? I think that there's a deeper meaning behind it, because specifically look at that font. What is that font? That is Comic Sans.
Ooh,
anyone who uses Comic Sans it's really a cry for help is what it is. So the person behind this is obviously trying to convey that they are in need of aid. So let's look deeper into it. What's the main contention in this image? That's the heat or spiciness of meatballs, right?
Yeah.
Now, specifically, why meatballs? Let's think about that. Why meatballs? Why not any other food? Why specifically meatballs? Let's hear some theories. Max, why do you think just meatballs?
Let's see. I think because it's probably a funny word. Like, meatballs, I think I think that's probably funnier than just, I don't know, like spaghetti or just meatloaf or something. I think this is probably more comedic just as a word intrinsically to people.
That's a very astute observation.
Thank you.
I personally believe that it is because meatballs were invented in 1880. And 1880 was a very prosperous year.
Really?
Yes. So this is obviously supposed to represent the economic boom of the late 1800s. Okay. So once we have that established, we now look at the other side of the image. We see I need to sip some cold syrup. Right. But first off, let's look at the sip. It's got 3 P's, right? Obviously, that is an abundance of P, right?
Yeah.
So, what we need to take away from this is that this is obviously relating to adenosine diphosphate, right? Or ADP, which is 1 P away from becoming adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, which is energy, right? And you might be thinking, wait, Sebastian, there's 3 P's right there. Is that adenosine triphosphate?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
No, I would say no, because SIP normally has 1 P, so it's the 2 P's that have been added. Okay. And you might say, okay, that sounds like a stretch. That sounds like a stretch, Sebastian. How can you know that this relates to energy? And I would say just direct your eyes up. And what does spicy say? It doesn't say spicy, S-P-I-C-Y. It says spice, E. And what is E commonly used to denote? Energy.
Bam. Wow.
So let's just do a quick summary.
Yeah.
This shows that it is the energy of the economic boom of the 1880s. That is very prosperous. But we still left out one aspect of this image, and that is the cold syrup. The cold syrup itself, which is water. Now, most people would just call it water. People that are very full of themselves might call it dihydrogen monoxide. But we commonly refer to it as water. Now, why is he referring to it as cold syrup?
Probably because it's ice water.
When I say syrup, what do you think of? What specific country do you think of?
Syrup? I don't know, I guess Belgium?
The correct answer was Canada.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's true. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I was thinking of Belgian waffles, so then I'm like, syrup.
Oh, okay. I see. No, I respect that. Okay. I fully respect that. That is valid.
Okay.
But specifically, it says cold syrup, and those are 2 adjectives or 2 things commonly associated with Canada.
I see.
Exactly. So it is obviously the cold syrup is obviously representative of Canada. So let's look at what this entire image is saying. It is saying that the economic boom, I keep saying boon, the economic boom of the 1880s was a little too much for some citizens, so they had to retreat up north to Canada. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. That was truly insightful. And I think
you have to look beyond.
Yeah, I think Elizabeth Brunig, I think this answers any questions you may have. So we're going to move right along. So when someone asks you what the mass of an electron is, it ain't much.
It ain't much.
Yep.
There's no deeper meaning behind this. I made this just for laughs.
Nice. So now, history of memes. We're finally here. So we
made it.
We made it. We are going to go through the history of memes, and maybe that will shed some light on how they operate, how they work, the meanings behind them. I think this might be helpful. So, we begin with this square.
So, Jacob, did you research this square?
Yeah, so basically, this is the oldest meme-like phenomena that can really be traced. It's called a Zator Square, and it was from 0 AD, so like the beginning of the Earth. The Earth is only 2,000 years old. But no matter what direction you read it, it reads Satyr, Arepo, Tenet, Opera, Rotas. And I think this like roughly translates like the farmer Arepo plows his field or something like that. So it doesn't really make a huge, like it's kind of similar to the surreal meme, which was previously seen in which like in and of itself, there's no like readily apparent deeper meaning to it. And deeper meaning to it has kind of been lost over time. But it's still like notable because it was like all over like Europe and whatnot. So
yeah,
this can be considered the earliest like meme or meme-like phenomena in a ways.
Yeah, I like how the N is backwards. I don't know, it's just weird.
It's interesting.
But yeah, that's cool though. That this is from the Roman Empire. That's why it has the Roman alphabet, obviously, or Latin alphabet. But yeah.
So moving on to the next one.
Yeah.
This one is from 1921, and this is where we see. You can obviously look at some meme formats we have today, and this is obviously like the basics of memes. It is the contrast of like what we normally expect to like something else, right? That's like the basic idea of memes.
Yeah,
so
quite a few of them.
We have, it's like an abstract interpretation. So we have how you think you look when a flashlight is taken, and flashlight is obviously photographed. And we have just a Chad, just an astounding gentleman right here, and then how you really look. And then like Flat Stanley or something, like some SCP.
It looks like the gingerbread man from Shrek.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
This is obviously the abstract, because this is obvious when you get a flashlight taken or when you get a photograph taken. You obviously do not look like that, or else you would need to like go to the hospital. But it is an abstract depiction of what people sometimes believe, because some people would be self-conscious about how they look when a picture is taken.
I really like how since it's a flashlight, it's probably a photo with flash, and I feel exactly the same way whenever someone uses the flash.
It's still relevant.
I'm like,
it's still relevant.
My eyes are going to be red. It's not going to be fun. Not going to be a good picture.
Yeah, almost like 90 or 89 years later, if I'm doing my math right. Is it 89 or is it 99? It's 99. 99 years later.
Wow, that's crazy.
I just had a massive lunch. I'm in a food coma right now. But 99 years later, this meme is still relevant.
Yeah.
So going over to the next one.
Yes.
Kilroy, or the first form of graffiti. This also counts as a meme because pretty much everyone in the 1940s like drew this everywhere, and it's still being drawn today. You know.
Yeah, it was.
This was very popular. This was a common graffiti depiction put on everything from military ships to buildings to pretty much anything. This was
from World War II. A lot of like soldiers from the United States, as they were invading, or not invading, but doing, as they were warring across Europe, right? They would etch this into a lot of the structures around whatever city they were fighting in, and it's Kilroy. So Kilroy was here, and he's a little guy who's like peeking over a wall or something. And it's just interesting as a meme that people were like, oh, look at this. I'm going to etch this everywhere. It's definitely representative of just how kind of people latch on to something. That other meme was more kind of showed the fundamentals, but this is, a lot of those single pictures that are just used over and over again for memes that are just used in a ton of different ways. I think this is kind of like the predecessor to that. It's that people find a little picture They find it funny. They think there's a lot of potential for comedy in that picture, and so then they use it over and over again. That's kind of what was happening here.
Mm-hmm. If you hit present again, fix a minor error in the slides.
Oh, where is the error?
It was a link. The link I posted in for reference. We didn't delete it off of the slide.
I see. Okay. So. Okay.
So yeah, we can head over to the memes of 2010.
Yes, 2010 memes. Now this is the year 2010, not the decade 2010.
Yes.
So, because we have each year. So yeah, let's start. We have. I don't always look up things on my smartphone, but when I do, it's to prove people wrong. It's obviously that guy from that beer commercial where he's like, I don't usually drink or whatever, but when I do, I don't know how the rest of it goes, but I recognize that.
Yes. So yeah, that was obviously, I think everyone has seen this meme. There were obviously more than just 2 memes in 2010, but these are definitely the most prevalent and still can be recognized by people today.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have the I don't always guy, and then center stage we have Epic Sax guy.
Yeah.
Who is just the ultimate, the original Chad. Everyone was bumping to his music. People still listen to his song a decade later. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But these are definitely the most impactful memes of 2010. And it's interesting because as we go farther and farther into, as we get closer and closer to present day, more and more memes gain prevalence because in the first couple of years, there's only like 2. Obviously in 1921 and the 40s and the Roman Empire, there's just 1. And then when we start hitting like 2017, memes start like exponentially getting. There starts being a lot more of them.
Well, this definitely relates to the internet. If you see from 2010 to 2019, the progression that we see is kind of related to how the internet went from something that was still niche but rising in popularity to something that's practically required in a lot of workspaces and just to operate in the world. Like, there's a ton of jobs where if you don't have access to the internet or have some moral obligations to the internet, I don't know what those would be, but if you did not want to use the internet for some reason, it would be very difficult to complete a lot of jobs in the modern day, which is interesting because that was not the case in like 2010. So that's what we see. More and more people joining the internet, and since there are more people online, there are just more jokes, like proportional to the population. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Jacob, what do you remember fondly about the 2010 memes?
I only remember Epic Sax guy because it's definitely peaked and started in 2010, but it lived on well beyond that. And I think that one of the things we do see is the lifespan of these memes is just rapidly shrinking. The Zator Square lasted a long time through the Roman Empire. Kilroy is you said earlier was still being inscribed, and I can remember the Epic Sax guy despite only being 6 when it came out.
Yeah.
But but recently memes are dying in a matter of weeks, so I think that really does illustrate that.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and we're definitely going to get to that later once we explore the curvature of the magnitude of memes and their lifespan.
Yeah, cool.
So if we head on to the next one, we get Rage Comics. We wanted to dedicate an entire slide to these guys because they were so impactful. They were from 2008 to 2012. I love these guys. This to me was just great. I believe that 2012 was the golden age, the golden era of memes, and these guys definitely contributed to it. I could I swear I read so many of these Rage comics, like people using these characters for like stories, people using them as reaction images, just things, events being summarized and expressed by these characters. I saw so many of these, and these definitely like were a big part of my meme knowledge when I was just a wee young lad.
Yeah.
Which is why it's very nostalgic to me, which is why I wanted to dedicate an entire slide to it. And they definitely increase the popularity of memes because everyone knows these guys, everyone like our age and even generations above us have seen these guys because of their popularity. And it helped set the stage for memes to come.
Yeah, you definitely see them even today, used every once in a while. But I remember, like, a few years ago when that was just the thing. That was the only thing. Like, the troll face in the bottom left with the trollololol song. And on the bottom right, the Forever Alone guy with the sad violin. That was always... I always remember that. So, yeah. Very impactful. Just, like, very popular. And it's interesting because... they're just kind of facial expressions, and it's just, I don't know, it's interesting. It's a lot of cultural stuff, but I don't know.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's honestly so great because they were like, they're low effort, because they're not like well drawn.
Yeah.
In any means, but like it didn't really matter, because it was like what they expressed, and I think that's really cool,
Yeah.
But we can head on to the next slide, which is obviously 2011 memes, and the biggest one to come out of there was undoubtedly Super Hot Fire. Everyone knows him for his public execution of that other guy.
Yeah.
Or everyone knows him from this GIF, and yes, it's pronounced GIF, of the guy going,
or the video where he's just, Oh my gosh.
And we also have Nyan Cat.
Yeah. You just look
everyone knows the song.
Look at the content look on his face, though, as he stares at the camera.
His smug look after just completely incinerating the other.
He just completely won. Yeah, like he's won and he knows it, and he's just basking in the glory.
It's like Nero looking at Rome burning. He had the same expression on his...
Yeah.
He knows that his victory will be forever remembered in history.
Exactly.
What was that other guy's name that he, like, murdered?
I do not remember.
I'm gonna do some research.
Yeah, but then on the right, of course, you have Nyan Cat, and do you remember those? I bet they had 10-hour videos of just that cat, just a little GIF of the cat repeated over and over. It's a cat with the body of a Pop-Tart that has rainbows coming out of its back, and it just is continuously flying through space with this irritating song playing the
The other guy's name was T-Steak, alternatively known as T-Bone, alternatively known as B-Bone.
Interesting.
Alternatively known as completely incinerated by Super Hot Fire.
Nice.
Even though, as he proclaims after his victory, or during his victory, he's not a rapper. But I'm not a rapper.
Yeah.
But anyways, this again goes into what we were talking about earlier. Again, only 2 prevalent memes from 2011. There were others, but these are the ones that, like, everyone has seen Nyan Cat. Everyone knows of the triumph of Super Hot.
Yeah.
Everyone has seen these 2, and these are definitely the most prevalent.
Yeah. Nyan Cat. Remember when people would just play that song, the Nyan Cat song, over and over again? And it would get really annoying.
Do you guys remember the live-action Nyan Cat?
What? Live action Nyan Cat.
I could find it, but then I'd have to bleach my eyeballs.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible.
That sounds very scary, because this cat, while it's kind of cute in its pixelated form, that is a horrifying freak of nature with the Pop-Tart for the body.
Word to be...
Yeah, especially the Pop-Tart.
Yeah. Someone has done some horrible genetic experiments. And, yeah. Actually, look at this. You see the white pixels, which are the stars? You see that one is passing in front of his foot? That means that cat is that much larger than a star. Really puts things in perspective. Isn't that horrifying?
Yeah.
You see on his
Peppa
left...
Pig, who's like 14 foot 2, and then you just have Nyan Cat bigger than a star.
You see on his left foot, that white pixel, that's a star passing in front of his foot, which means that he must be probably 10 or 20 times larger than stars, which is huge. This thing could wreck entire solar systems just by passing through. He must have enormous gravitational disturbances. Or it was just someone like lazy while animating and just had the stars pass in front instead of behind. But it is something to consider.
Maybe Nyan Cat is more powerful than we could ever have imagined.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine that? That song is booming through the cosmos. Even though there's no actual sound in space.
Travel.
However, there are a few atoms per cubic meter, and I think the song is just loud enough that it can jostle those atoms enough to propagate a bit of a sound. There is actually occasionally sound in space when there's a gas cloud and then there's a supernova nearby. You can actually hear that. And the gas clouds are very not dense at all, so very loud things can actually be heard in space. And this is cosmically loud. And look at how big that cat is. I think that cat would probably be loud enough to, have a song like that propagate through space.
Wow. Yeah, very possible.
Yep.
Let's head over to 2012, or the golden age of meme.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have Bad Luck Brian has a pet rock and it ran away. We have Ermagerd Girl, who loves Goosebumps. She says, Gers Berms. We have, what's that kid's name? The Success Kid? I think that's his name. What the name of the actual meme is. But we have Success Kid. We have the Illuminati, which was very big in 2012. And of course, center stage, we have Grumpy Cat, who is now in heaven and hates it.
Yep.
So just a little tribute to Grumpy Cat and their impact. I forget if Grumpy Cat is a boy or a girl. Yeah. I know their name is Tartar Sauce.
That's a very gender-neutral name, Tartar Sauce.
It's a girl.
Oh, okay.
So thank you, Tartar Sauce, for your contribution to the golden age of memes.
Yep.
You will forever be missed. So 2012, this is the anomaly. This is absolutely the anomaly. At any curves or any frequencies of memes being both like relatable or actually like well spread versus like longevity. So 2012 is definitely the anomaly year because like here you see like it had a major increase from the other years. The other years had like 1 to 2 memes. This one has like 5 really prevalent ones, and these are all recognizable today.
It's kind of sad. This gets into the life cycle of a meme, but you see like big like airline companies using these for flight safety videos, or like anti-smoking like PSA companies also using these in their videos trying to be relatable to kids, and you're like, no, you're about 5 years too late. And
the Illuminati for the Illuminati ad.
Yeah, I do. I love the Illuminati memes because it makes me think, if there actually was an Illuminati, how would they have reacted to that? Right? There's supposed to be this shadow government organization that nobody knows about, and they just become a very popular meme in 2012, and everyone knows about them, which, it's interesting because
his name is actually Success Kid.
Nice.
So there we go. It is. His real name is Sammy Griner.
Mm.
Wow. And he, in that picture, is eating sand.
Well, that's what toddlers...
That is like. Real success.
Yep.
Eat sand, become internet famous.
It makes me think of that My Strange Addiction episode. There's one where the person wants to eat sand, and they do. They definitely do.
And they I guess they also became semi-famous because
that is
of it.
True. What's the relation?
All you need to do
eating
is
sand
go out and eat
results
sand,
in becoming
bypass
successful.
College.
Yeah. If you eat sand, you will become extremely successful. I think that's what this that's the message. That's the theme. That's the theme of this live stream. So, theme statement, people who eat sand become successful. I don't even know if that's a proper theme statement, but let's just go with it. So,
Jacob, would you agree that 2012 the golden age of memes, or do you think there's a different year?
I don't know. I think it's kind of like it goes up and then it goes down. Almost like if you look at any empire over the years, there's times where it's ruling the world, and then there's times where it's weakened and it makes a resurgence. I feel like it's kind of like that with memes. And 2012 was just definitely one of those years, precisely because it's the anomaly, because it had so many successful memes. I think that, especially for its time, that was extremely successful in terms of memes.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because if you think of the amount of people that were regularly using the internet in 2012, it's enough that there are people to share the joke with, but not enough that it becomes something that everyone knows. So it becomes sort of an inside joke. Although now everyone knows about these jokes, but at the time they were more like inside jokes, which is interesting because I think that is one aspect of memes, is that it's kind of something that you're supposed to get, even if explicitly you wouldn't get it. Like a lot of memes now, they just do not have the subtitles, because a lot of them are a subtitle, like a scene from a TV show or something, right? And it's that line of dialogue pertains to the situation that you're captioning. But sometimes people will just omit the subtitles, and if you know the meme well enough, then you don't even need the subtitles beneath, which is interesting. So that's kind of one aspect. It's about being an inside joke. So, yeah.
So 2012 was definitely the year of the cat, but 2013 was the year of the Doge.
Nice. The year of the Doge.
There's your transition. So Doge was ruled 2013 and has actually made a resurgence. It made a resurgence in 2019 and a little into 2020. But strictly looking at 2013, this dominated. It was more popular than every other meme in 2013 by a factor of easily 30.
Oh yeah.
And it was so popular, which is why there are so many images with Doge in it. Yeah, it was impactful. The only other meme that you could say was from 2013 is Slenderman, which is why we have him up in the top left.
Every day.
Honestly, that would be real funny today. I feel like that fits into the humor today.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a cursed image,
Yeah. With a humorous caption. That's the best. A very frightening, disturbing image with just a jovial caption. That's just like, oh, every day I'm shuffling.
Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that image and I'm going to make it into a proper meme from like 2019 to 2020.
Nice. Yeah.
So you guys can keep discussing this while I quickly cook that up.
Yeah, so Doge, still a meme today, used in memes. I really like Doge because I like dogs. And Doge is a Shiba Inu. And it's just interesting, I don't know, that people have gravitated toward this specific image of this specific dog so much to use as a meme. It's weird. I made an edit once of my dog where I took a picture of my dog and made it look kind of like Doge. And that was probably around 2013 when Doge was first becoming a meme. So, yeah, I like this meme. What do you think, Jacob?
I think it's kind of interesting that Doge is making a resurgence just now because it wasn't too long ago when 2012 memes were making our resurgence, like with the Belluminati ad and like the Gertzberg meme was referenced in SNL just earlier this year.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
there's like a correlation there where like maybe because of like how long it takes to get like media projects to get approved, but like companies in film and TV are like they kind of have there's like a association there where they have like a 7-year lag almost in terms of what memes they use.
That's interesting because a lot of nostalgia also has like a 30-year lag where if you look at the 2000s, like the 00s, that was a ton of 70s nostalgia. And then if you look at the 2010s, that was a ton of 80s nostalgia. Think of Stranger Things. And now that it's the 2020s, we're probably going to get 90s nostalgia, which is interesting.
But wait, was this a movie that was complete? Ready Player One.
Oh, yeah, Ready Player One.
It was complete 80s nostalgia.
That's true, that's true. They had Iron Giant reference, I think. Yeah, I remember that movie. Interesting. Based on a book. But yeah, so that's an interesting 7 years.
How did you guys like that movie, actually? This is going a little off topic, but...
The movie...
Because I want to know your guys' take on that movie.
Let's see. The movie... I bet the book is probably a lot better because I don't know about the movie. It was it didn't stand out as very bad, but it didn't stand out as all like super good either. I don't know. It did have
those are pretty much my thoughts about it. The only like gripe I have with it is that it could have been better, honestly.
Have you read the book?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Because it's such a cool concept.
Yeah.
But I feel like they could have done a much better job with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely want to read that book. I have so many books I'm reading right now. Right now I'm reading 11/22/63 by Stephen King.
Nice.
Really good. And I'm reading Green Mars by Kim Stanley Robinson, I think. Yeah. It's such a good... Both of them, such good books. Very different, but both very good books. I'm like halfway through both of them. I picked up Green Mars because I had, sometimes when you get busy, like you forget. So I had started reading 11/22/63, but then I also realized, I have like dropped Green Mars. I need to read it again. So I'm reading both at the same time, and it's interesting. And I really enjoy reading them, but I also really want to get through them, just because I don't like to have like two books going on at once, because then the plots. I mean, it's hard to actually mix up the plots, but it's sort of like you get invested in one and you want to keep reading it, and then you also have to read the other so that you don't forget it. So it's Yeah. And then there's also, I finished rereading Insignia, and I'm like going to read Vortex, so I want to do that too. Just so many books, which is good. Reading is really fun. I like to read, definitely. And then every once in a while, I find myself like on YouTube for half an hour, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is like nowhere as good as just these classic books. But
you must not watch the Gravity Max live stream.
Yeah, I don't like the sound of my own voice on recording, so that's why. That's my reasoning. But
then you should check out the Heisenberg uncertainty principle explained.
I'll watch. I've watched it, but
I know you've watched it.
But yeah, definitely watch our channel. Yeah, everything else you should read, but I think this is the exception.
So if you hit present again, I've made the meme. It's a 2019 style, I would say. It's in the next slide over.
Okay. Every day I'm shuffling.
It's the same image, but I added a lot of noise and I didn't saturate it. I sharpened the image, which is a lot of those black dots that you see. I added the 100 emoji because that was big in 2019.
Yeah.
And I obviously added Doug Dimmadome's hat to Slenderman.
Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimmsdale Dimmadome. Oh my gosh. That's...
So there you go.
Yeah, that's great. You just 2019ified that meme. Alright, so now 2014. 2014
Yes,
memes.
This is when quality of meme went through the roof. Like, before it was just stagnant images. 2014 is the year where it became video. As you can see, MLG had actually, like, those videos must have been decently hard to edit because of everything happening in them. So, tons of that happening in MLG videos, which is center stage. The weird, like, Shrek SFM animations. Same with, like, the TF2 stuff. And, of course, my name Jeff.
Kind of like the 2014 memes. Like, of course, they didn't really age especially well, a lot of them.
Yeah.
But it kind of represented, like, a coming together of the meme community. You had, like, Doritos as a separate meme, Doge as a separate meme, the WoW guy, and, like, and Shrek, of course, as a separate meme. But then they all, like, came together into one meme, and I thought it was, like, really cool that all the corners of the meme community, for a brief second, were kind of united with the MLG.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'd like to address chat. We have Maddie B. Raps, who was here last week, says, hello, Max. And I say, hello, Maddie B. Raps. Then Missing Music says, the Shrek one sent me back. Yeah, this is very nostalgic, this stream, for all of us. So, that's the appropriate feeling.
Yeah. So 2014, definitely year of the video, I would say. Because
year of the
before
cat,
it was all just...
Year of the videos. Nice.
Yep. Before it was just images, caption, funny little thing in the middle.
Impact font.
This is when videos took off and actual, like, animations took off, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people hopped on this trend, and we're going to talk about him later, but the absolute Chad, PewDiePie, he's kind of, I see him as, like, the Beatles of memes, you know? Because the Beatles made music through all these different decades where what was good music, like the idea of what good music was, kept changing, and the Beatles adapted with that music, which is why, like, their earlier stuff is all, like, more like hippie stuff, and then later on they go into rock, and then later on they do some, like, funky stuff, right? But I see PewDiePie is kind of doing the same thing. If you go into his like videos from, like, around this era, he, like, incorporates, like, MLG stuff and like my name Jeff and all that.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point that out because it is whenever like memes become popular, that's when people start hopping on it. We're going to talk about the
Diffusion of Innovations curve.
Yeah, the diffusion of innovations. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I just like that term.
That's exactly what we see happening here. Because one person makes an MLG video, then like 3 people make it, then 5 people make it, and all of that. And it keeps like going up and up and up. And that's when you start getting like a lot of people who are actually good at making videos start to make memes like these for like humorous purposes. And that's why 2014 is when the quality went way up, you know, because like YouTube was taking off a lot more. Different animation programs were being released. So it's cool to see that the other innovations of the time period actually correspond to the memes of that time period. And it sounds obvious when you say it, but it's like, it's kind of niche as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. You see a lot more videos today, like video memes, where it's an edit of some video where they replace a person with something else, like to make it funny or whatever. Like a lot of historical memes, which are I like the Tom and Jerry memes where they put like a country's flag over Tom and Jerry, because like to represent some sort of war or conflict. Because Tom and Jerry, I think those are the 2 gods of war, like war and strife, you know, because they are just in constant combat, those 2. But yeah, so
it's like those the 2 wolves in Nordic or in Norse mythology that are constantly chasing the sun and the moon. It's like that. They're like in a constant cycle of chasing, which is what allows the world to keep on living.
Yeah, but it's interesting.
Anyways,
Tom and Jerry,
let's head over. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just one thing. You know how the old Tom and Jerry's, like, they wouldn't talk, but then in the new one they like kind of talk, and it's weird.
I like them not talking more.
I like them not talking too. Like, I mean, they would in the old ones they would like you'd have that scream like whenever they got like injured, they would be like ouch.
Yeah.
But yeah, but in the new ones, sometimes they're like saying something, and I'm like, what? It's a cat. It's not gonna say anything.
Jacob, did you watch Tom and Jerry when you were growing up?
A little bit.
Yeah.
By the time that like I was watching TV, though, SpongeBob had mostly taken over.
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry's interesting though because when you look at it, it really is an incredibly violent show. And I like in The Simpsons, that's why they have the Itchy and Scratchy show. That's obviously like a parody of Tom and Jerry. I don't know why parents are like, yep, this is a good show. Kids can watch this. It's weird.
Yeah, I've seen almost every episode of Tom and Jerry, and it's quite violent.
Yeah.
And there's some dark episodes.
Yeah.
But we can head over to 2015, which is where we see it go back to just 2, because remember, 2012 was the anomaly, 2013 had 2, 2014 had 3, and then 2015 is back down to 2.
Yeah.
This is the year of the frog.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I actually wonder, was 2013 a year of a dog?
Oh yeah, that would be interesting.
Zodiac.
Dog.
It was a snake. Rip.
Unlucky.
Alright, but anyways, Pepe was the dominant meme of the 2015 era and a little into the next couple of years. Like, I would say he's 2015 to like end of 2016. And to the left, if you don't immediately recognize this video, this is the "What Are Those" meme.
Yeah.
And it was pretty big.
Yeah.
You know, people were screaming that in like Vine comments.
Yep, I remember that.
People were doing all
just
that.
At school too. What was this? This is like 5th grade, but schools, they're usually a little bit behind. So like 5th and 6th grade, everyone would always be like, "What are those?" And I'd just be like, I had no idea what they were talking about. And then I was like, oh, okay, it's this. And then I remember someone made a Jurassic Park edit, so that it went like, "What are those?" Like they auto-tuned it. Yeah, just interesting. Just iterations of memes, yeah. That's like when we get to the cycle. I'll talk about that a bit. But I find that interesting, how they kind of mutate and just become different and kind of mix. It's a lot like a living organism. Like the CGP Grey video where they call it a virus. I would agree with that. I think actually it's more like a bacteria though, but because a bacteria, right? Bacteria actually have the ability to exchange DNA with other bacteria just by like touching, right? And so they can get new traits just from like encountering an individual with that trait. And I feel like that's what happens with these memes, because they mix, and you see like the "what are those" comes in contact with just the Jurassic Park, that section from Jurassic Park. That video clip has always been a meme where it's like, "Welcome to Jurassic Park," and then it reveals something that isn't the dinosaurs, it's something else that makes the meme funny. But yeah, so I find it interesting.
Well, a third meme next to Pepe. Just can't see him. And his name is John Cena.
Oh no. Yeah, I remember oh my god, this is the best story. My English teacher last year, she wanted to show us what Old English sounded like, because we were talking about the evolution of English, and there was this video that was called like whatever, like it was the start of Beowulf in Old English, right? And so after like, I don't know, like 30-ish seconds into the video, I think it got to a part where I couldn't understand it because it's Old English and it's really hard to understand. But they got to this part where the guy probably says his name was Beowulf, but instead of Beowulf, it changes to John Cena. Da, 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 da. And our teacher had no idea. Like, she totally got by the video. And then she was like frantically trying to turn it off. Everyone was laughing. It was so funny. And in the comments, all you see on the comments of that video are, "Oh, this totally got my English teacher," and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, wow. It was so funny. But, yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So yeah, John Cena, another big meme.
Mm-hmm. So, 2016.
2016 was... This is kind of what I call the dark ages of memes, believe it or not. Because I violently remember... That doesn't make sense. But I viciously remember it. That also doesn't...
Ooh, how can you viciously remember something?
I remember memes having like dropped off, basically. Like, so let's address the characters in the room real quick. We have, of course, everyone's favorite gorilla. No, he's not King Kong. No, he's not his bastard son Donkey Kong. It's Harambe. Harambe was the biggest meme of 2016.
Yeah.
We Are Number One was second. They were both very close, but We Are Number One was second. Rip Stefan Carl. But they were both massive memes and Sans. But after these guys, like, there was really... this is why I call it the Dark Ages, is because there was almost no new content being pumped out. You know, like, nothing new was being made. It was all literally just reposts of Harambe, reposts of We Are Number One, and just Sans. Like, literally just Sans. Like, no one would even put captions. It would just... It would be, like, a regular image. Sans would just be, like, poorly photoshopped into it.
That's kind of funny, but... Yeah, that's probably why people on the internet latched onto Harambe so much, because it was a very... like widespread news story that the gorilla in Cincinnati Zoo was like killed because some like little kid got into the enclosure. But I feel like if something similar to that happened today, it wouldn't be that big of a phenomenon. But I think it's that, I don't know, it's interesting because I think since this time didn't have a lot of other content, when this news event happened, it became something that everyone latched onto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 2016, definitely one of the worst years for memes overall, especially when compared to, like, 2015 was also pretty bad for memes. You know, I would say like 2012, 2013, and 2014 were really good years because that's when people started showing off their talent and comedic ability. 2015, 2016 were just garbage years for memes.
Yeah.
But then next up, of course, we have 2017 memes, and this is when people started bringing it back. So, top left, we have Gabe the dog. Bottom left, we have everyone's most hated meme, which is Loss.
Yep.
Top right, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Phil Swift. And I do have all of the Flex family of products, actually. I have Flex Tape, I'm looking at my Flex Tape right now. Center, little offset to the right, we have Ugandan Knuckles, who actually closed out the year of 2017.
Yeah.
And bottom right, we have Omaiwa Shindedu, which is You Are Already.
Yeah.
So this is, you can obviously see there's 5 very prevalent memes here.
Yeah, Gabe the dog was probably one of my favorite. I think it was his owner would make videos with the barks edited and then like to be a song, and then someone like other people started to do the same. I also really liked Flex Tape and the JonTron videos about these.
So this is when people started being a lot more creative, and especially with Law. Like Lost was like it was like artistic interpretation, you know. Like they would always like hide it in it, you know. Like it's kind of like the Fibonacci sequence, how like artists would use it to draw their paintings, and if you like overlay it, you can see it. It's kind of like that, you know. And this is where we got out of the Dark Ages, you know, because this was people's creativity being shown. Out of these, Jacob, which one's your favorite?
It's got to be Phil Swift. Like the amount of content.
That's what I gotta say.
Like the ads in and of themselves were memes by themselves. They didn't need any changing, but then people just took it to the next level with the edits they made.
Honestly, I gotta go with Phil Swift as well.
Well, probably me too. The Lost meme's very interesting though, because I think wasn't it found that this is just kind of the fundamentals of how like web comics are structured? I think it's just it wasn't even people after this intentionally started making comics that looked like this. I think it was, I mean, obviously they did, but I think it was that even before, if you looked back, this is just the natural structure that a lot of them took on, which is interesting because you wouldn't expect them you wouldn't expect a ton of comics to all have the same sort of minimalist structure, but yeah.
So 2017, a very good year for memes. 2018, this is when memes evolved. This is like, if 2017 was like the year of creativity, this one was just the year of evolution. This is when memes branched off into all different weird subcategories of stuff. So here on the left we have, and there's 2 pronunciations which Max and I got into a little argument.
Well, I admit there's one correct pronunciation, and then there's one commonly used. used pronunciation?
Yeah, so the commonly used pronunciation is Opper, even though that's not an A and that's not an R. But the Russian pronunciation of it, Drug, or alternatively Drug, which just means friend.
Yeah.
And honestly, we gotta give friend. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, friend.
We gotta give friend credit because he is like the original cursed image.
Yeah.
Like he was the start of 2018. He was like the first quarter of 2018, the first business quarter.
First business quarter.
He was the top meme. 100%
Fiscal year
the
2018.
Top meme. And he I think he was like he got cursed images to become popular.
Yeah. I really love this meme of friend because
people don't give him enough credit.
Yeah, it's such a good picture. I don't know, it looks like crazy like demon Deathclaw thing from Fallout,
yeah, I was gonna say it looks like a Deathclaw.
Yeah. Also, in the background, I saw this meme where it was like everyone's talking about Opper or Drug. Everyone's talking about friend, but my man like Wubba, like some other Russian word, has been hanging out in the background the whole time. And if you see above the left arm of the Deathclaw, you see that white blob? That is actually another Deathclaw. It's a white Deathclaw instead of a black one.
Oh, wow.
Which is double cursed, I think. Such a good meme. Like, there was one of my favorites of this meme, and of course it relies on the Opper pronunciation, is a picture of a car, like, side view mirror, and it said, objects in mirror are closer than they Opper, and then Opper was in the mirror. But, yeah. So,
I feel like it's kind of the successor to Slenderman in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
So center stage we have Thanos, a messed up Squidward version of Thanos.
Yeah.
But we have like Marvel popped off 2018 to 2019 with Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, but those influenced me a whole lot. To the right we have E. E is just an anomaly. But this is kind of going into the kind of cursed image
and just surrealism, because this is Markiplier's face, right? Photoshopped onto Lord Farquaad, photoshopped onto someone on trial.
That's Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg on trial. And, then this is a different angle. Okay, so Mark Zuckerberg on trial. Or at the Senate hearing, I mean, he wasn't on trial then. And then in the bottom, just E. Just so surreal. Just 4 different things coming together. Just craziness.
And, yeah. But it still made people laugh, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then in the bottom, we got car salesman.
Slaps roof of car.
Yeah. So then we head into 2019.
Yeah. Here, wait. Just a few things. Yeah, I really like.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
How the Infinity War and Endgame, so many memes. Not just the Thanos ones, but Thanos I think is very quotable. Like, he has a lot of good quotes. But then just the whole movie has so many scenes where it's just a great quote to caption. And I think, I don't know, it was everyone united around that because it's a very popular franchise. But also with the E, with that meme, it makes me think of, there's a lot of memes and pictures that you look at and you'll laugh, but then you're like, this is not funny. Why am I laughing at this? And yet you laugh. It's like the Copernicus
yet they laugh.
It's like exactly. It's like Galileo, I think. I forget which Copernicus. One of them. It was, and yet it moves, and yet and yet you laugh. But yeah, and then car salesman, just great meme because that is what a car salesman does. They try to upsell the car. They're like, this bad boy can fit 2,000 Taco Bell tacos in it for all your Taco Bell taco carrying needs.
Oh yeah.
Because recently, my family had to get a new car, And it was frustrating. And even though we went to one of the places where it was supposed to be the least frustrating, it's just so tedious. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just craziness. I was like, I'm just sitting here. But, yeah. It was like...
So...
Yeah.
You want to head over to 2019?
Yeah, sure.
2019, or the Cambrian explosion.
The Cambrian. Yeah.
So, let's introduce our memes. Top left, we have Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, which just won an Emmy, I think. I think he just won an Oscar for it, and the movie got nominated for an Emmy. I might have that backwards.
Yeah.
But it won a ton of awards.
Wasn't it like banned from some award show? Some award show was like, oh.
Maybe, but I think Joaquin Phoenix won an Oscar for it.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong though.
Good on him. Good acting, definitely in that movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Really good.
Bottom, middle left, we have TikTok, and specifically the TikTok, I'm already Tracer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
I personally hated this meme.
I personally just dislike the app in general. I don't think I've laughed at a TikTok meme. I don't know. I just not a fan.
I've got some bangers saved on my Instagram, but that's about it. So, bottom left, we have every 9-year-old's favorite meme, Big Chungus. So, Big Chungus is just Bugs Bunny, chungified, if you may.
I may.
Then we got is that the We Back in the Mine? Is that what that's supposed to be?
Yeah. Creeper.
Oh man. Yeah, so Minecraft, obviously a huge game, but it became a meme in 20. Yeah. Then we have my favorite of 2019, Ricardo Milos. I've never, before I was beta, you know? I didn't have confidence. I wasn't suave, you know? I wasn't anywhere near to the man I am today. But then I first viewed Ricardo Milos, and I looked at his comforting smile, and I knew I had the strength to become as strong as him.
So that's where
he gets it. To exude as much raw power as he does. Anyways, middle, a little off to the right, woman screaming at a cat.
Yep.
I honestly could not care less about this meme, but a lot of people like it.
I like it.
So, hats off to them. Well, hats off to you.
Well, because the cat is just...
my hats.
The cat...
The hat I stole from you.
Yeah, I get it back now. Haha. The cat, look at him. He's just so flustered. He's just not prepared for this verbal assault. And this woman is so passionately angry at this cat.
Yeah, what I would say.
This cat has done some horrible deed in this woman's eyes. Just grievous, horrible atrocity. Yet, the cat is like, what did I do? And, just look at how angry that woman is. And then look at the cat. Right? Usually when you do something that upsets someone, okay, yeah, that's probably going to upset them. But this cat has no idea. And, look at how angry she is. That's crazy. Such a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So, bottom, we have Me and the Boys. I love this meme.
We should make Me and the Boys playing Rento.
Yeah. So, we have Me and the Boys, great. Shaggy, off to the bottom right. Ultra Instinct Shaggy. He was the most powerful. Except, I think Ricardo could actually beat Shaggy.
Personally. Oh, really?
Yeah. Top right, not top right. Middle right, we have Hit or Miss, another TikTok one, and top right, we have Pewdiepie with his music.
And and the T-Series conflict.
And the T-Series conflict, yes.
Yeah.
So 2019, as you can see, the volume of expanded crazy. 2018 had a ton of memes. 2019 had a gigaton of memes.
Either pressure went down or temperature went up because the volume has increased.
There you go.
We've just been doing that for the past 2 weeks in chemistry, and my mind is so much in that mode right now. Like, combined gas law. Where are you at?
Yeah. So yeah, Jacob, what's your favorite meme of 2019?
I feel like the Pewdiepie T-Series was really good because, like, similar to the way of montage parodies, but even like stronger this time is something that not only the entire meme community, but pretty much the entire internet could just rally around.
Yeah,
I thought that really just a great
the
moment.
War between private creators, individuals versus big brands, and unfortunately, we have lost. But we're still making videos, so maybe not.
I also kind of think that that's the entire point of memes in a way, because like if you look at when like big like companies try to do memes, they're usually not great.
Yeah,
they're usually like old and stale. But like memes are like they're like the perfect example of like individual content.
Yeah.
They are the individual content creator.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. That memes have become more symbolic as times change. You know, because a lot of people have a stress over big corporations taking over everything, and we kind of express that fear through memes.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the internet rallied around, or at least the good ones did, and everyone like subscribed to him.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was cool to see a community come together, and to see like memes do that. That's nuts. But that actually leads perfectly into our next topic. Our next topic, which is, of course, the man himself, Felix Arvid Ulf Kjellberg. That's how you pronounce it, like Shell. Pewdiepie.
Yeah.
Pewdiepie was the number one for a while, and he has, like I said, he is Beatles of both YouTube and of memes. He can adapt to what the current trends are, and that's how he got 100 million subscribers. That's how he reached it. That's how he's maintained his number one, or how he did maintain it for that incredibly long period of time. And how he's like the single most well-known like YouTuber and all that. He always adapted to like whatever was popular, to whatever was trending, and he even like lately he started like did get trending, like this meme that you see in front of you right now.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's fact.
So he himself has become a meme after years of channeling the memes, after years of experiencing the memes. He has gone into transcending into a meme himself.
Yeah. Interesting.
So shout out to him. And this is another thing that shows the power memes have. Because like he obviously did Let's Plays and he did all the other stuff, but now currently, like because of the boost from PewDiePie versus T-Series, I mean like how many subs did he get? He got like
I think
20 million subs in the span of nothing, right? It's crazy. It shows you the power that means. So then we go off to talk about the life cycle.
Yeah, okay. Life cycle. So a meme is introduced, it becomes popular. You know, your friends start saying, hey, have you seen this meme? And if you are a man of culture yourself, then you already have, but you still humor them if you're a good friend. And so the memes spread, then eventually just everyone at your school knows it. Then your parent mentions it to you, and that's the beginning of the end. Because now it's beginning to spread a bit too much. And then the death, you know, you see CNN talk about it or Delta make a flight safety video with it, or Hillary Clinton dabs. Yeah, things like that are very catastrophic and end
when
the life cycle.
I did the Harlem Shake.
Yeah, it's things like that. Once, basically, it's the aspect of a meme that it's supposed to be an inside joke somewhat, and if everyone knows about it, then it's not an inside joke anymore, and so it loses its appeal. So that's the way it goes. So let's talk about the diffusion of innovations curve. This is a very interesting concept, and it is used mostly to describe, say, technology. So smartphones, you think innovators, the first 2.5% of people to have smartphones, really techie people, probably really techie people in the 90s, were like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool, we should have this, right? And then you have the early adopters, which is 13.5%, which are people that they aren't first, but they are pretty ahead of the game, and they are actually interested in it, and then they adopt it and start using it. And once the early adopters use it, then the early majority begins to use it, which is once the technology is really spreading and it's becoming more something that everyone uses, then you get the late majority, which are the people that are a little behind, but this is just kind of, once you've got the late majority, it's the general public. And then once you have the laggards, those are the last people, the people that are very behind, even somewhat intentionally behind, just people that are really not with it. Again, with smartphones, you think of older people that aren't very techy, but yeah, so this describes diffusion of innovations. It describes many things, and I would argue that it also describes the life cycle of a meme, because you start with 2.5% innovators who take a caption or a picture. They take a picture from a TV show or some piece of media that they like, or maybe they take a picture and they say, hey, this is a pretty funny picture, I'm gonna put this caption on it, this caption really works with the picture, and they start to spread it to their friends, their friends like it, and they share it with their other friends, 6 degrees of separation, it begins to spread, and then some people say, yeah, that's pretty funny, I think I could do you one better, and then they alter it by adding a different caption, or maybe they change the picture a little bit, and so that's when it starts to get into the early adopters who are making a few versions of the meme, and then it gets into the early majority, which are people that see it, and everyone's making their own versions of it. Then you get into the late majority, and in the late majority, it's just commonly referenced in conversation, everyone talks about it. Then you get to the laggards, which are just the last people to know about it, and at that point, the joke is kind of dying out, kind of fizzling out, and that's pretty much when your corporations are like, hey, that'll make us relevant. But, yeah. So let's start with the birth of a meme. This is what the miracle of birth looks like. You may not like it, but it is natural and beautiful. And that is, oh my gosh, that picture. What do you think of that picture?
It's violent.
Yeah.
Jacob, what do you think?
I'm not quite sure how to describe it.
What show is that from?
That's from It's Always Sunny.
Okay, yeah. I knew it was Danny DeVito, but I was wondering, which.
You just see raw power here.
Honestly.
Yeah, he's coming out of the couch.
I think if we were to, like you said, Tom and Jerry is probably war. This is pestilence.
Yeah.
This is definitely pestilence.
Yeah, so this is kind of what I was describing before. This is the birth of a meme. So this is obviously this caption, or this picture, for instance, right? You look at this picture and you say, people gasping, growling, and Danny DeVito crawling out of a couch, and you think, what does that remind me of? What is a good caption I can add to make it an interesting situation? Or sometimes a meme is just spread without a caption. it's just a funny picture. And this is where it all begins. So say you're watching a TV show and you see a scene and you just cannot get over how funny it is. So you put that picture, you take a screenshot and you put that picture on the internet, possibly with a caption. And then your friends, or at least your online friends, depending on if you share it with like your offline friends, they like it and they share it. If it's funny enough, if it's funny to multiple people and not just to you, then they spread it, and there might be a few alterations, like a few different captions, I would say. Usually in the innovators phase, I would say there isn't much editing to the picture itself. The picture is being mostly preserved, whereas the captions are changing. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. Because sometimes with with our meme from earlier of how much does an electron weigh, right? It ain't much. Like the mass of an electron, it ain't much. The full subtitle, I mean, you probably know, it ain't much, but it's honest work. So you just scribble out but it's honest work, and then you just get, it ain't much. And yeah, usually that doesn't happen in this phase. Usually it stays the same. Sometimes people will add words too, but that's more if we get into the next slide. So spreading of a meme, yeah, this is what I'm saying. So people, they find it in either those parts of Reddit or on 4chan, which are like parts of the internet that, I mean, they're not even like dark web or anything, but they are those parts of the internet that you're just like, oof, what is this? But sometimes you find gold in a dumpster, right? That's the philosophy here. So someone finds it, and then they're like, yeah, this is a good meme. So yeah, so now once you
like a mine.
Yeah. Yeah. So now once you get to your early adopters, you begin to see possibly changes to the picture itself. Like here, how, labels are being added to all of the characters and parts of the scene. Or if it's just a picture with a subtitle, then you might see changes to the subtitle, like not just deletion, but sometimes just replacement, kind of like DNA, A different word is subbed in, like, I'm trying to think of one. Can you think of an example where someone subs in a different word in the subtitle of a meme?
Like for what purpose?
I don't know. For, like, let's see. Like, isn't there...
I got one.
Yeah, you got one?
You know in Lord of the Rings when they're like, as the dwarf and the elf are fighting side by side, and like,
there you go.
One of them's like, never thought I'd die fighting alongside an elf. People just substitute out elf for like whatever the heck it is that they want.
I've seen, I'd never, like, with a PC user or something, or PS4 user or whatever. I've seen that, yeah. So you replace the words in the subtitle to make it fit the caption more, which is interesting because usually a caption is meant to explain the picture, you know what I mean? Usually a caption is supposed to fit the picture, but once you get to the early adopters, they begin to actually change the picture to fit the caption, or at least a caption that they want. So this allows the meme to get more utility, because it can be used in more than just a few situations. And so this is your early adopters, and it spreads even more. And it goes to the early majority. So now the early majority, peaking of a meme. This is the ideal male body. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like.
This is famine.
Really? That's an interesting choice.
No, because he ate all the food.
All right.
So everyone else
is in famine. Okay. Oh yeah. So yeah. Once you have the early majority, then edits to the meme occur, even just where they, even not just edits to the caption or the subtitle, but even the photo itself, where they'll add something to the photo using like Photoshop or something. Like they'll change the face so that it's the face of some character that they're referencing, and that's what happens in this period. So in this period, everyone in the early majority phase and into the late majority phase, but really the early majority phase mostly, I would say, is when it's very popular amongst, I would say, young people, early majority. So this is when everyone at school's talking about it, is referencing it and saying like blah blah blah, like making a joke using the meme. And yeah, so then you get into your late majority, and the late majority is where it begins to decline. So yeah, declining of a meme. My time has come. So a meme begins to decline once it hits the late majority, because if you just think about it like a single joke, right? So say that you come up with a really funny joke and you tell it to your friend, and then the next day you tell the same exact joke to your friend again. Your friend is not going to find it as funny the second time, right? Just basically that's the principle here. Each time you say a joke, it gets less and less funny. And while memes do have the potential to change, and there's variation and alterations, so that keeps it a little bit fresher. It keeps it from, like, you can hear the same meme format again and still find it funny as long as a different caption or a different situation or a different use has been put on it. But still, it falls to the fatigue that eventually, once you've heard a joke too many times, it is no longer funny. And that's what begins to happen in the late majority, because everyone knows about it, everyone's referencing it. So, yeah. Then we move on to the death of a meme. I die. This is such a visceral image, I must say. Nice work, Sebastian. Sebastian made this picture.
Thank you.
Like,
I
excellent craftsmanship.
Thank you.
It's just, he's not doing well. He is not vibing.
Thank you, Jacob.
So, the death of a meme, this is your laggards phase. So, this is really just once everyone knows about it, no one's really referencing it anymore because it isn't that funny. It's gotten joke fatigue, so it would be like saying the same joke over again, and there really isn't much alteration you can add to make it funny again. Like, it's kind of you've exhausted the resource, like there's a gold mine and you've mined all the gold out of it. You can't keep mining. There's nothing left. So yeah, that's pretty much what happens here. Or you think of a star and you think of thermonuclear fusion. Once you've run out of helium, there's just no going on and it just collapses. And that's pretty much what happens here with the death of a meme. So everyone knows the joke, everyone's heard the joke a few times, and there isn't really much you can do to add to the joke. So people stop referencing it, because if they were to keep referencing it, then they would no longer be funny and their friends would get annoyed with them. So they move on to the next meme because there's always a new one that's rising in the vacancy of an old one. So they move on to the next one to be funny. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. So then, of course,
then we do have the rebirth.
Yeah,
of a meme,
yeah. Well, of course,
which doesn't happen forever.
One last thing with the death of a meme is that this is where you see corporations definitely using it.
Oh yeah.
Because you see, I think it's actually kind of necessary, because when in the early stages of a meme, the corporations do likely know about it to some degree. I mean, I can't imagine that people could actually be that inept, or at least not everyone in the sales department, right? At least not everyone in the marketing section of this company, of any company, could be that out of it, right? Like,
yeah.
certainly some people, but not everyone, right? So I think the problem is that if a company were to use a meme in its earliest stages, then they don't know where that meme might go. And if it ends up being used for some sort of joke that goes against the company's purposes, if it's like, I don't know, if it gets a little too like not family friendly, a little too like dark, or just something the company wouldn't want to associate with, there's nothing they can do to fix that if they use a meme too early, because they cannot control the rate at which, they cannot control the direction a meme goes in, They can't control what it does because this is just the larger internet. So they don't want to be associated with something where they don't know how it'll turn out yet. So that's why they use a meme once the whole cycle has passed and there aren't any new alterations on it anymore, because now it's safe. They know all the connotations that the meme has had. They know exactly the path that it's traced, and so they can use it in their commercial safely. Also, another thing that adds a bit more lag time is that once they get that idea, once they find a meme that has pretty much died to use in their commercial, it still then takes production time to make that commercial, which makes it so much longer and just makes it worse, because it's like they're digging up like a dead meme, which is just gross,
Yeah.
So then sometimes, right, a meme will experience a rebirth. And when I realized it isn't the first time Keanu Reeves is a meme. Yeah. So what happens is, once enough time passes, sometimes a joke can hit a second time, right? Maybe like some life experiences have occurred, people haven't heard it in a while, and now it's funny and relevant again to the situation, If you make a joke to your friend and they think it's funny, and then a few months later a similar thing, like a frustrating or whatever, happens again, then they will find the joke funny again, right? Even though they are hearing it the second time, because now there is more context, it's situational, and more things have occurred to make the joke funny again. And so the same thing can happen with a meme. Once the meme falls out of common reference, right, and there aren't many more alterations to be made, if something happens that makes the meme slightly relevant again, and someone uses it in a new way that it hasn't been used before, then it is reborn. And that is what you get. That is very interesting, I think, personally. I think it's pretty interesting which memes will get reborn and which will not, because it's definitely then a cycle of growth, decay, death, and then rebirth. So, yeah. What do you think?
I think that is correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is definitely, and like Jacob mentioned, the life cycle of memes it's the same cycle, except it's speeding up.
Yeah,
it's
that's
getting
true.
faster for each meme. Like right now, memes last like 2 to 3 weeks. Really.
Yeah.
Like some good ones last 2 to 3 months, but most are just like mere weeks.
It's odd. So, it's a scary time to be a meme.
In 2023, it's gonna be like days. And then we're gonna hit a singularity where no one can keep up with anything.
Ooh, that would be crazy. That would be the ultimate death of comedy and memes. Well, I mean, comedy would probably... Well, it's the same. It's really just a larger cycle of growth, decay, death, and rebirth then. Because if memes as a genre of comedy were to end up dying off altogether, then you would have another genre of comedy come up in its wake, which is interesting. But
well, I will add this kind of another scientific principle. This is more like biology and stuff, but the idea of carrying capacity. I think there might be a carrying capacity for memes, and because there's only like so much. In order for a meme to become a meme, it has to have like a sizable following, and if there's too many of them that are too short-lived, then I think the rate of memes will kind of decrease until it reaches like a stable level.
Yeah, definitely.
And
definitely
because there's only so many Instagram meme pages and whatnot.
Yeah. I think the carrying capacity has increased since 2010, largely because of the amount of people on the internet. So it's kind of like the concept of, say, food affecting a carrying capacity. An increase in food will result in an increase carrying capacity. I cannot talk today for some reason, but I think a similar thing has occurred with memes because more people are interested in the jokes and are interested in them. So that's why the carrying capacity has increased. So, yeah, but definitely there's going to be a limit. It's going to hit like the carrying capacity and it's going to have to decrease. So, yeah. Interesting. Anyways, next slide.
Yeah.
Magnitude of a meme. So, this is interesting. Think of like the Richter scale. This is a similar, the meme scale. Yeah. So, let's begin. Individual memes. So, this is just a meme that just any old person makes.
We got beats!
Thank you. When you go to the grocery store and come home, we got beats. There you go. Individual meme right there. And it's a meme that obviously the person finds it funny if they are to go through the trouble of, 5 minutes of work to make a caption over a picture they find funny. But if no one else finds it funny, then it's not going to spread. And then that picture, that's it. That's it for the picture. A few people see it. Maybe a few people even do find it funny. They like it. Maybe they share it. But they don't actually go through the effort of editing and remaking it because there isn't much potential to it. They don't see it as too funny, so they're like, yeah. Like, they have a chuckle, like, huh, that's funny. And then that's it. So, that's an individual meme. Oftentimes, I think Simpsons screenshots, I'd say, are very often individual memes. What would you say?
Yeah.
Just because there's
The Simpsons has gone on
so long.
So there's a lot of stagnant images that could be.
Mm-hmm. I think Simpsons is not following the life cycle curve that all natural things do. It has somehow found out the key to immortality, and it is not okay. It must be stopped. Because you know the concept of Simpsons did it?
Yeah.
So it's like, what if there comes a point in the future where it's not possible to make new jokes anymore because every joke has been done before? What do you do then? Yeah, exactly. No one knows. So, do you have any comments on these memes? Should I go the next one?
I've made a few individual in my time.
Yeah, we have some of our individual memes on this live stream. Yeah.
But these are fun to make.
Yeah,
not
definitely.
Very popular, but
yeah,
definitely a thing.
They're fun to make. Yeah. So next, low tier memes. This is a picture. It's funny for a bit, used with a few captions, and then it's gone. Like this picture. I think my favorite meme with this picture, the one that I remember the most, is like Ernest Rutherford's gold foil experiment colorized.
Oh yeah.
And that's an electron, and that's the nucleus.
The nucleus.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So yeah, funny for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not very popular.
Yeah.
But definitely more popular than an.
Yeah. Like, it's got a bit of potential to be reused and altered a little bit, but it isn't much, Not much to do with it. So you see it a bit. It isn't even the most popular thing. Maybe as you're scrolling through, it's every 10th meme for a while, and then it's gone, and you're like, okay. Yeah.
I would say a lot less than every 10th.
Yeah.
I'd say more like every
what?
Because
20th?
Every like 50th.
50th. Wow.
You know? Yeah, because low tier memes are like popular and are only produced by a subgroup of people that that like actually enjoy the that one image, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Like with this image, like at its height, I didn't see it like every 10 memes. I would say like mid, which is our next thing. I'd say mid tier. You see every like
every 10th. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Actually, mid tier every 10th. Should we go to mid tier?
So yeah. Okay. So over here we got the hold up.
Fallout. I like this one.
Yeah,
I like it.
This one was popular for a little bit. Mid tier is like the first tier that gets actual popularity, but again, they aren't as like widespread as other memes that we've seen. And this one is mid-tier memes are created by more people. Like more people want to create these memes than low or individual.
Yeah.
But still not like very popular. Like a lot of people have seen it, but it doesn't gain a lot of like notoriety or
and
not a lot of people remember it.
I would definitely say this has been every 10th meme at its maximum.
Yeah.
Hold up. I love it. This kind of genre, I think the hold up, like also the picture of Tom from Tom and Jerry looking very concerned, of just someone saying something extremely like concerning, and then just a reaction of what, like jazz music stops at 2.
Jazz music stops is like one of my favorite.
They're all like the same type. Someone says something very peculiar, and then you respond, what? Because I've like, experienced that in real life. Have you ever just like where someone says something absolutely crazy and you're like, what are you talking about? So that's what this image exemplifies. Hold up. So yeah.
So then we obviously have high tier memes. Much like this cat on the beach and Lucky Luciano, aka I had to do it to him over on the side.
Yep. You see this? I remember seeing you had to do it to him. I remember seeing that probably every fifth
like
at
3.
some point. Every 3 even,
Yeah, so super popular memes. Everyone knows high tier memes. If I pulled up a lot of high tier memes, most people would be able to recognize them. It's really only some people, boomers, that can't relate or recognize high tier memes.
But like these are memes that like in our previous slides, like saying memes of 2016, 17, 18. Those memes on those slides would be high tier memes. Yeah. Those are the memes that those years are known.
Yeah. So that was what we were showing on those slides. Definitely the high tier memes of any given year. Yeah. Good description. So if you want some examples, refer to those. Those are the examples. So
So then
this is such a good picture, though.
Oh yeah, I love.
Whoever made this
this
Photoshop, like, nice job. Like, wow. I kind of want to make like a picture like that of just some legendary giant force, like causing chaos. Like I've seen a few pictures like that. It would be fun to make a picture like that. Yeah.
Next up.
Yes.
The Eternals. These are the memes that do not die ever. Yep. These guys have evaded the cycle. So
it's like that one meme of the one that was like with the Grim Reaper, the 4-panel comic, where it's like, was I a good whatever? Like, no, I was told you were the best, or whatever. Yeah. These are the memes that cannot be used with that format.
Yes. So these are the ones that literally just can be used at any time period. So most notably is Shrek. Shrek is one of the biggest memes of all time, and because of that, it literally cannot die. Along with the Eternal, SpongeBob, all of those SpongeBob as a show potential, which is why it will never die. Some other ones are actually on the next slide, so we won't skip to that just yet.
Should I go to the next slide?
Well, do you guys have any other examples?
Well, of eternal memes, let's see. Well, Doge, probably, because he keeps coming back.
Doge is pretty eternal, I would say.
Short quote.
Yeah. He's gone dormant a few times, but he always comes back. I saw this meme. It was funny recently. I was studying the Industrial Revolution in my history class. That was the topic we were on. And I saw this meme of an Industrial Revolution factory, which were obviously really horrible. And it was the new Doge, the Cheems Doge, and it said Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution. And in the background there were a ton of the little baby Doges ow my finger, blah blah blah.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that.
That's such a funny picture to me. So Industrial Revolution. Yeah.
So if we go over to the next one, we can see two more Eternals. And this is where we'll get into the music just very briefly.
Yeah.
We of course have Rick Astley. I'll Rickroll, I'll never give you up. You know it. This was such a big meme.
Yeah.
And it kind of still is. I would actually laugh. Rolled at some point. I would laugh.
Yeah.
It's a callback. And of course, All Star.
Yeah, great song.
It's the reason you know Smash Mouth.
Yeah. You know what's horrible? Yeah. Okay, there's a Shrek play, right? And they do not start with All Star, which is infinitely disappointing.
Wow. That is disturbing.
Right? They have to have the full cast sing All Star. They have to.
So music contributes a whole lot to memes, especially now, with video edits. There have been songs that have become memes. I can't really I don't know if I could sing them because of copyright.
True. Just say the name of the song, or you can say the lyrics.
Future's version of King's Dead, the la-di-da-di-da. You know what I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
The Kanye West Wolves, the angelic singing of that song was a meme for a while with SpongeBob levitating and glowing. That was a great meme. The just pretty much more and more music is being used in memes.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything. And even some people have gone into music solely because of memes. There are rappers such as D-Bangs or Ugly God, who are not family friendly, who have made songs purely for them to be meme potential.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, I would like to address chat. So a while ago, Jam McCarthy 1975 said, "Mems, Tom and Jerry is life." Thank you, Jam McCarthy 1975. Very cool. So then Zach Bishop says, where are the garbage tier memes at though?
Garbage tier memes would be any meme that people...
Wait, sorry, you cut out. What was that last part?
Garbage tier memes would be anything that people try to pass on high tier, but are actually individual memes. I would say, when people, if for the individual meme, we got beats. And actually, we got beats is kind of fun.
That is, yeah.
If we had something like we got beats and people tried to pass it off as being funnier than it is, Cash Me Outside.
Yeah.
I hold the firm Cash Me Outside, how about that, is the single worst meme of all time.
Wow.
Because people tried to pass it off as being high tier.
Well, you know what I have to say to that?
In reality, it was so bad.
You know what I have to say to that comment? Cash Me Outside, how about that?
I will hang you. So, I would say that is the most trash. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's just anything that people try to pass on is, I would say, is garbage tier.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyways, music is great. Used in memes.
Yeah.
Next slide.
I want to do trash memes.
Oh yeah.
And that is like the tier kind of refers to like how widely circulated they are, and not necessarily the quality. Like TikTok memes are like really big, but a lot of them are like really trash.
That's true. That's true, actually.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, magnitude does not correlate to quality. Yeah. Just like how something the magnitude just means how far away it is from zero, and that can be positive or negative. I think it also means that a meme that's bad, but an individual meme, isn't as bad as a meme that is bad and a high tier meme. You know, an undeserving high tier meme is worse than any yeah, it's not very good, but at least I don't have to see it a lot. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a low tier or an individual meme that you think is really bad, at least you don't have to see it. But if it's a high tier meme, then it's just so much worse because you have to see it more. It's like, you know how familiarity, like if you see something more often or someone more often and you like them, then you're going to like them more. And if you dislike them, then you're going to dislike them more. Which is interesting. Like if someone's annoying to you, if you only see them once in a while, then they're not that annoying. But if you have to see them every day, then they're more annoying. Or like it also works in the reverse. So it's interesting. So yeah. So now, legality of a meme. Wait, that's illegal. So memes, of course, like anything, have had run-ins with the law. Yep, I think the law has become, I don't know, very pervasive in society.
Yeah.
There's always a law, like there's, America is the country of lawsuits or whatever. You know, you'll sue for anything. So, you know, like people will sue for anything like that. Well, this, of course, comes into memes because these are popular jokes and things that are spread around. So, of course, the government has to say, hey, stop right there. Because someone important might get upset. That's pretty much it. When someone important gets upset at a joke, then the joke is no longer. Especially, like, it's obviously, it's not that bad in America, but if you look at China, right, that's a place where a joke can get you jailed, right? So that's like very intense. But even in more democratic nations, that can occur to a lesser degree. So let's get right into it. So
before we go on for a second,
yeah,
I'd like to connect this to the scientific principle of bioaccumulation, which says that if an organism is in an environment that has toxins in it, inevitably that organism will come into contact and acquire toxins. And this is the same thing with memes and the law, where since there are like criminals and whatnot in a society, inevitably memes will run into that. And since there are laws in a society, inevitably memes will also run into those as well. And that creates this conflict at times of memes and law.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, I'll go to the first one. So we've got YouTube. This isn't really law, but it's rules of YouTube. And in a certain sense, a lot of corporations are so powerful that their terms of service can be laws, right? Would you make that assessment? I would say that.
There's also the COPA thing, which is like actual law.
That is
the first
actual
part
law. The first part's not. Is law. Yeah, so YouTube, right? Demonetizing content that isn't family friendly. Demonetizing content that is made for kids. Mostly demonetizing, but yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. YouTube has really offered a position where you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, you know? Because if you are too, if you're too much, then you're going to get demonetized because the advertisers don't want to be associated with you and whatever you're saying. But if you are too kids friendly, then you run afoul of the FTC that says you can't advertise to kids. So then you're like, what do I do? So it basically means you can't be rated R, you can't be rated PG, but you can be rated PG-13. So that is what we strive for here at the Gravimax live stream, PG-13. So
we get one F-bomb.
Where should we put it?
I don't know. Does that mean one F-bomb per stream or F-bomb for every single video? Like, we only get one. I don't know, but I don't think we should use it.
I don't think we should use it, no.
Just in case we only ever get one.
Just in case we only get one, yeah.
I know, this could count as a movie. 2 hours long. Yeah. It's got different frames.
Yeah, we definitely count as a feature-length film, I would say. Yeah. To be a feature-length film, you only have to be 40 minutes long. So every...
Yeah, so I guess it's every...
Yeah, every Gravity Max live stream is a feature-length film. So, what do you think of this situation?
It's... So, okay. So, with the COPA stuff and all that, we obviously saw a massive change in our channel.
Yeah.
Because, we used animated characters.
Yep.
And I remember, Max, you called me up, you texted me or whatever, and you're like, yo, I gotta talk to you about, this COPA stuff because the channel utilizes some of the outlooks.
Yeah.
So, we sat down for, 3 to 4 hours at one point. I was in South Carolina. We sat down for 4 hours just figuring out what we were going to do, how to get ourselves. And, you never want that. You never want to be stressed about putting content on your platform.
Yeah.
YouTube. It's it just doesn't... It's there's all those videos of $1,000 because I said cool or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so whacked, you know? It makes an unsafe environment.
Definitely.
You know?
Yeah, the fact that someone could be fined $42,000 for uploading, even if you think about it, just a 1-minute video. You could upload a 1-minute, stupid little video and mark it incorrectly and be fined $42,000, which that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, think about you park in the wrong spot. You park in the wrong spot, you could be parked in a fire lane. You could be causing an actual danger to society. Maybe $100, $200 fine. You make a video and kids have to see an ad. $42,000. I think that is entirely disproportionate. The punishment should fit the crime. So, I don't know.
There you go.
Maybe the fine should be... It really shouldn't even be a fine. Maybe 20. I'll give you a 20. There you go. That's what you get.
I'll give you a 20.
Buy yourself something pretty. But, yeah.
But we've ranted about this, a ton of times over the channel. Yeah. Everyone knows how stupid this is. People doing.
Yeah.
But let's just move on to the next one, which is another thing.
Yes.
Article 13 was big in 2018, I think.
Yeah.
And
everyone was freaking out about that.
Everyone was scared of this. This thankfully gave us a chance to laugh at you. But a quick little summary. Article 13 was a law that was passed by the EU that basically threatened people making jokes or making content on the internet due to copyright laws.
Yeah.
So, in the original draft that they were going to put into law, the original copy of that, memes in Europe would have been like so limited, and like everything would have gotten copyrighted, and like people wouldn't be able to make jokes about movies or television shows. Like people couldn't make SpongeBob memes, people couldn't make memes about Endgame or Infinity War. Like people couldn't do any of that. People probably couldn't even mention them in like videos in that first draft. In that first draft of it,
that's just
people
ridiculous.
saw it. People lost their minds. Europeans like rioted against Article 13. So they basically changed it to be less restrictive on works of humor. So like memes, any of that and stuff. It's still kind of bad because other stuff became copyrighted, such as like film essays and like stuff like that, or movie critiques or any of that stuff. So it's still not the best, but it could have been a lot worse, which is why everyone was freaking.
Yeah, copyright is an interesting issue, and fair use is also. It's just it's complicated, but because obviously no one would disagree that if you upload the full length of, say, Jurassic Park to the internet, that is a violation of copyright. Yeah. But if you were to upload Jurassic Park and, I don't know, every 15 seconds there's a frame of a meme in there, does that count as fair use? I would probably say no as well. But what if you were to upload Jurassic Park, except all of the audio is gone, it's just the visual, and you have voiced over everything. So you have replaced all the lines and done a cappella versions of the John Williams score. Would that be copyright infringement? I think it would probably get taken down for copyright infringement, but I don't know, that would be interesting. Like, I would feel like that would take a lot of work on someone's end, and it would definitely go down. It would definitely be taken down for copyright infringement. And then you think, all right, what if someone just uploads a clip, like that clip that's commonly used in memes of "Welcome to Jurassic Park"? Is that clip, if you just upload that clip, that would be copyright infringement. But if you upload that clip with a caption, that would also probably be copyright infringement. But what if you replace it so that the score is auto-tuned version of that guy saying "what are those," and all the dinosaurs now have those weird shoes on them? Is that copyright infringement? I would say no, because it's different. But yeah, so then obviously you get to crazy extreme cases like you were saying. What if, I have just talked probably for a minute about the movie Jurassic Park, and I have said Jurassic Park many times. Is that copyright infringement? There is no, footage, nothing on the screen, no music from Jurassic Park. I have just said Jurassic Park alone. So, yeah, interesting. Copyright is strange. Also, copyright used to only last 28 years, but our favorite mouse had something to say about that.
Our favorite
mouse had something to say about that, and now it's like a century or something. Yeah, copyright, if you think about it, copyright in its original form, 28 years, and then it's public domain. Jurassic Park came out in 1993. If we had original copyright law, Jurassic Park would it be in public domain next year? Like, if you think about, if we had that original copyright law, Star Wars would probably be in public domain by, it would be in public domain for like 15 years now.
It came out in 1977.
Yeah, 15 years. If we had original copyright law of 28 years, then Star Wars would be public domain for 15 years at this point, at least the original one. So, yeah, which is crazy. Now, if you want to make a Star Wars parody, you have to wait until like 2072, and at that point, there might be actual Star Wars. So, right?
Let's head over to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yes. This was the Area 51 stuff. Storm Area 51. Stop.
Quite the meme. They can't stop all of us.
But this like, obviously, it's illegal to go into area, and over, like, on the bottom, you can see, like, 404 planning on going. Only, like, 50 to 70 people actually showed up, and all they did was stand around.
Yeah.
But they, like, this would have been illegal if stormed Area 51. Like, that would have been illegal, and people probably could have died.
That would have been massive civil unrest. Also, I want to quickly address chat. KCC says, "Don't pronounce it maymays, or you will spontaneously combust."
Yeah.
Right? Memes, maymays. Have you ever heard someone say that?
I've heard memes. I haven't heard maymays. I don't think anyone actually
would say that, but I've heard people jokingly say maymays, like, in reference to that. But, yeah. So, this event, if everyone that said, you see 404K going, I think this is an old picture. There was probably like 2 million that said they were going on Facebook. But if that many people were to actually storm Area 51, that would be massive civil unrest. That would be craziness, right? Like, that would be a huge disturbance. I mean, isn't the U.S. military, like, active members, isn't it, like, around 1 million or something like that? I think it was...
Yeah.
I think the number of people that signed up for this event outnumbered the people in the U.S. military, which is just crazy. I mean, obviously the U.S. military would have better weapons, but it's just kind of frightening. I mean, obviously it was a joke, but it was a weird situation. And the fact that it was September 20th, that made the meme last so much longer than it would have naturally.
Yeah.
If it didn't have a specific date on it, if it was just like, let's all storm Area 51, probably would have been gone in like 4 weeks, but it lasted probably 4 months from inception, and lasted until September 20th, and then 2 people went, and then everyone's like, okay. So, yeah.
So let's move on.
Sure.
To our creations.
Our creations. We have made a few memes for
we
this.
Brought Jacob on today because he's a meme expert, and we're about to show off some of his.
Nice.
So Jacob, tell us about these two.
The first is Puppy Buggy Baby, which is like a 2015 or 16 meme, I think.
Yeah.
From the Super Bowl that year. From the Super Bowl commercial.
Featuring Puppy Monkey Baby. And it was supposed to be a combination of like cute things, but it turned out to be absolutely horrifying. And I kind of like took that idea and ran with it. As this is kind of like my statement, like, of how horrifying it actually was.
Yeah, that is such a frightening picture.
Like, this is where you'd actually expect to find Puppy Monkey Baby in like a horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, second one, I think I was just like drifting off in like class or something, and I was like, what if Dr. Seuss said 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, grew fish? And then I just made it.
Absolute genius.
Yeah. It rhymes too. Works so well. Yeah. Oh, remember Gorlick bread? Do you remember that? Remember Gorl's meme? That was a meme for a bit. And then Gorlick bread?
Yeah.
that was funny for a bit.
Alright, let's head over to the next set of...
Yeah, sure.
Tell us about these, Jacob.
So these are actually taken in the Netherlands. One of them is contained inside of a TV. Like, you can't contain me here forever, as the Vsauce meme of it, which looks kind of similar.
Yeah, it does.
I actually did not intend to turn this into a meme. I just took the image. There was no inspiration. I just spontaneously took this image.
It's now my phone. It's now my on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just kind of I'm not sure how to put it. And then the other one was like at a museum. They had like this, what's the word? Illusion.
Oh.
They had like this thing that I had a picture taken of.
Yeah.
That was just too perfect.
I was like, are you desecrating this statue? Like the guy that ate the banana off the wall. You know?
Yeah.
That's why it looks so good as a cursed image, just because it's like, oh no, he's in a museum and he's doing weird stuff in the exhibits, but it's actually just an illusion. Yeah, I see it now.
So, the mention of the banana reminds me of something. I actually came up with the idea of taping food to a wall first before that meme.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I did tape to the window of my school. It's been there since September 18th.
Pepperoni. Nice. It makes me think of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid cheese touch phenomenon. The pepperoni touch.
Going over to the next slide, we have a whole lot of...
Yeah, look at these.
So, the top left.
Yeah.
That's my talent show act.
Nice.
I dressed up in a hazmat suit and a gas mask and played a bunch of memes from, I believe, 2018 and early 2019 on the piano. Yeah. And actually on my YouTube channel, so you can check that out. Yeah. Or if you just search Team Plays memes and talent show with a gas mask, is also on another person's channel.
Yeah.
And you find it there.
Cool. Yeah, definitely.
The one next to that is the freeze frame of some guy drop kicking a garbage can that I was sitting in. And if it had audio, you'd just hear it go, whoa, whoa, whoa. See that guy right there? Well, that guy's actually me, and it goes in that whole monologue.
I think I remember that.
One next image.
The next image. Oh.
I'm not sure how my brother that is my brother in the doorway. I'm not sure how he achieved that lighting on his face. That's just kind of mildly frightening.
I don't even see... Is he holding a flashlight? I don't see him holding a flashlight.
That's exactly why I was confused. I think it might be his phone or something.
Oh, maybe.
But he's there. And his headphones look really strange as well.
It looks like it's spontaneously just... It's like smooth lighting off. That's the problem. You don't have smooth lighting on.
There's like a hand on his shoulder. I just noticed that.
Oh,
and that's actually his arm. The color of his sweatshirt into the wall. It just looks like there's this floating hand on his shoulder.
It really looks like there's a hand on his shoulder. No, that's totally a hand. I see fingers. That's totally a hand. I see fingers. Or what was it?
I see 4 fingers. His thumb's probably on the other side of his hand or something.
What? Is it a glove or something?
Well, that's just his normal hand.
Oh, I see. His hand's not in his sleeve on the left side.
Yeah.
Okay. Crisis averted. That is just such a good picture.
Yeah.
So scary.
Below that is an ad I saw about it for some like bar where it's like in it beer, yes and green with the pie chart. The one next to that is a meme I made during a fire drill.
Oh my gosh!
When the fire alarm goes off,
Legendary.
Teachers outside.
Outside.
Nice. Yeah. Mid fire drill makes a meme.
Yeah.
You gotta have good priorities in life.
Next to that is just a Infinity War meme from when that was popular, because that is an actual ad that I saw in like Spain or something.
That's hilarious. I know anything. You can't use the dissolve effect anymore without people referencing Infinity War.
Yeah.
Nice job. Should I go to the next slide?
Yes.
Okay.
These are my creation. So this is a ripoff of E.
Yeah.
This is also Mark Zuckerberg, but with Jacob's face superimposed onto Mark's face, and with the letter Q.
And we made a whole series, or Sebastian made a whole series of these. One with my face.
Yeah. Next up, we have J.
J. Oh my gosh. And the graininess.
So actually declines.
Yeah, no, the quality of these goes down. Like, Jacob's face fits the best. Max's face does not fit. And then if we go on to mine.
Z.
It is disturbing.
It's like too far up on your head. It's so weird. You know, your face is like too far up.
Yeah, exactly. No, I down these. But I think they speak to what E was.
Yeah.
Because E was in the middle of a meme crisis where we had to, where the meme creators had to just do anything.
Yeah.
To make memes. So that's basically what I did here.
Nice. Oh yeah, Johan says in the chat, top left got me 13k views. Thanks, Jacob. That's the channel that his video's on, of the talent show.
I never really got that. Like, his video got 13k views and mine got 500.
Oof. I bet he did the tags for the video. I bet he...
Yeah, that was the explanation for it.
Or maybe it's the Illuminati. Illuminati confirmed. So yeah. Let's see. Next slide. Is that it? I think. Oh, when toddlers see any animal.
Yeah.
Dog.
I made this one as well. I actually just one go recreate for this exact stream.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the final thoughts.
Sure. What do we think about memes and life?
Memes, I think, is one of the most well-known now, just because of the internet and everything. And it can actually connect a lot of people, you know?
Yeah.
Because everyone can make memes. People in third world countries, as long as they have a camera and a basic computer, no matter how bad it is, they can make a meme and then post it. So yeah, the memes have become one of the most popular forms of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Memes, pretty entertaining. Just short little, takes 30 seconds to look at one and you're just ha. Big mood booster, I think. And definitely, I think English is a very idiomatic language. And just based on the fact earlier how I was not able to figure out how to say, stay tuned, right? And I'll keep you posted. Things like that. This is the new way that idioms are spreading through the English language. It's memes, like free real estate, or wow, I'm just not doing well talking today, but free real estate, or we are number one. Just common phrases that you can say and people will get the joke and get the reference. So yeah.
Well, some people won't understand
some people
that's
won't.
Why that's why saying it is kind of hip.
Yeah. It's definitely people in your age
cohort. No one.
Yeah.
No one? So no one. Okay, keep going.
What?
Never mind. I should quit.
What? I did not.
I said saying it is kind of hit or miss.
Oh.
Cut out at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oof.
So your audio is kind of hit or miss.
Ooh, rough.
Yeah.
Booze and tomatoes at me.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think this is a good stream. Very entertaining memes. And let's see. What are we going to do next week? I don't know. I do not know what we are going to do next week yet.
But we'll have another expert on.
Yep.
It'll be a great stream. I really enjoyed the stream.
Yeah, this was a great stream. Memes are a fun topic, and there's actually quite a bit of science and history to them, which is interesting for such a fun, jovial topic, So yeah, well.
So wait, hold up. What was that one time stamp that all of our videos got to
Oh, okay.
What was it? It was 2:35.
It was 2:35, and right now we are on 2:29.
Oh, okay. I don't think we should stall for 6 minutes. I thought it was 2:31.
That's
so
crazy though. All our videos, well, not all, but I think we had 3 videos last season that ended at 2 hours and 35 minutes. One ended exactly on 2 hours 35 minutes.
Yeah. So natural disasters, life extension technologies, and abilities of a habitable planet, which Jacob was also on, all were at 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
Or 2 hours and 35 minutes.
Or 2 hours, sorry, 2 hours.
Yeah.
35.
Yeah. So, well, let's see. Anyone have a 5-minute rant about memes?
No, I don't think we should shamelessly stoop down to that level.
You can't cheat it. It's got to be natural.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I would like to thank you so much for watching. I would like to thank Jacob so much for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on the
stream.
Yeah, of course. You have brought a lot of good content.
Yep.
That's why that one image is screen or my lock screen. Because it has so much raw energy. And another thing, like I said, with Pewdiepie adapting to the different meme formats, I think Jacob here has also done that, because I know you made a couple of animations when animation was really popular. You obviously made the puppy monkey baby murder thing when that was popular. And then you did the cursed images stuff. And then you actually went up and played all the meme songs on the piano, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And obviously very in tune with what was trending at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad to have an expert on memes on this stream. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Come again anytime.
Yep.
And so again, on Wednesday, we'll have another video from Sebastian. On next Sunday, we'll have another live stream, and we should talk about what we should do for the next live stream, and who we should have on. Then on the Wednesday after that, I'm going to have another video, over 128 seconds video, and I think that's going to be a pretty interesting video. It's about a mega structure, which is pretty cool. So, let's see, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. And goodbye.